The next point we had was communicating through cultural walls. And what I mean by that is, have you ever had clients that obviously come from a different country, are in a top position executively at work, but just need to get through the cultural language barrier, or not even a language barrier? They could convey themselves in English pretty well, but there's just a thick accent that they need to shave down a little bit. What kind of advice do you give those clients?
For sure, Jerezy. What I would say is accent is a mindset. That's what I teach people. Like, let's use Jack Ma as an example, right? The founder of Alibaba. The guy's a super thick Chinese accent, but nobody cares. And the reason nobody cares is because Jack Ma doesn't care. But if he got on a stage and he conveyed his ideas like this, "Hi, everybody, my name's Jack Ma, and I'm really sorry I have a thick accent," then that's what people will perceive. Oh, I guess he has a bad accent. So as speakers, we need to understand, guys, that we are mirrors. We project our own emotions onto the people that we speak to, right? To the people that we communicate with. So the question now is, what emotions do we choose to project? What do we actually want to show the people around us? And that's really the key. So how does this now play into mirroring? How this plays into having an accent is, pick any accent, doesn't matter which accent you have, and try and find someone really successful at communication who has the same accent as you. So if you're an Indian guy, look at Sundar Pichai from Alphabet. If you're a Chinese guy, go look at, I don't know, Jack Ma. And you'll notice that there's somebody out there who has a thick accent, but it still communicates just fine. So I'd say the answer, to keep it really simple, is don't worry too much about your accent. Focus more on getting rid of the objective truths. For example, the ums and ahs we can get better at, the smiling we can get better at, the eye contact we can get better at. And if we focus on those elements that are objective, that are easy to remove, we'll be a lot more comfortable on stage regardless of the accent that we have.
All right, I hear you, and I will apply it right now. Filipino.
Manny Pacquiao. He's the only guy I know
about that, bro.
Oh man, he he doesn't seem like he cares that he doesn't care that his accent is that thick. I mean, he still gives his speeches after every fight. So
I mean, he sings after the fight too, right? So he definitely doesn't give a fuck. That's funny.
Man, I can't think of any other. Who's a big Filipino guy with a Filipino accent as thick as Manny Pacquiao?
Definitely, he takes the cake as far as the most successful with the thickest accent for our people, right?
Yeah, I can't,
because Jokoi he can speak English pretty well.
Yeah, Jokoi is pretty. I didn't even know he is Filipino. Yeah. He doesn't have an accent at all.
Not at all. Yeah, you're reaching if you say he has one. But
you can turn it on if he wants.
Yeah, he turns it on his mom. Yeah.
Well, that guy can speak English.
I got to say, one thing I've noticed as far as accents go is I think accents can be a little easier to recognize when you speak several. I mean, even if you speak one other, two languages, but if you speak be three or four, it just gets a little easier, I think. And I think that has to do because of how much you've, exposed yourself to different cultures and different people that speak differently. And that's why when you hear an accent, you don't think of it. You just really try to understand it as best as you can, but it's not like you're like, oh my God, this guy has a thick accent, I need to listen closely. It's more like you just pay attention and just grasp as much as you can.
Absolutely.
Also, Elon Musk has an accent and he definitely doesn't care. So that is one thing. But I will say this, and this drive point with my other question. I love how you say accent is more of an attitude, right? How you approach it, how you take it. But with that, I mean, especially in the Western world, there's a lot of, oh, he has a funny accent. What did he say? Like, he talks like this.
Yeah, disrespect.
And sometimes, it's disrespectful. And sometimes as the speaker, you feel that, and that kind of trips you up. And I mean, being being on the internet now, having content out there. I mean, we're starting to experience it too. Just getting people trying to, disrespect you. How do you ignore that? Or how do you coach someone to ignore that and stay with the program and, kind of stay with the message and stand their ground?
Yeah, Teresi. Here's the way I think about this. It's actually from Arnold Schwarzenegger. He said something really interesting. He said that if you want to impact 1 million lives, you need to get used to the idea that 10,000 people will hate your guts for no other reason than you being you.
Damn.
And I thought that was so powerful because it's so true. Like, let's say we take something like Justin Bieber. So many people hate Justin Bieber. But like nobody knows Justin Bieber. Like they never had breakfast with him. They never actually met his family. They never actually talked to him for 30 minutes just to get to know him. But we make a judgment. Why is that? For various reasons. One, because we might be jealous of his success. That's one piece. Another piece might be, I'm someone who wasn't successful, so I'm going to let out that pain and that frustration onto other people's lives. But regardless of what the reason is, we need to keep in mind, and this is the dark side of success that I feel a lot of people don't talk enough about, is there is a cost to success. Nothing is free. And one of the costs is you need to deal with the fact that a lot of people will hate you. And that is just the price that you pay. So I think that the question now becomes, for content creators specifically, how badly do you want to create the impact that you want to make in the world? Like, how badly do you actually want to create that? So for me, I had a ton of hate when I started MasterTalk. My God. I was sending a ton of emails to university professors to share my YouTube videos because it's free content. I was like, well, I didn't have these communication tips when I was in university, so nobody else does. So if I share it with the professor, they'll just share it with their students. And yeah, a couple of them agreed with me, but the other 99% spat in my face. They're like, you're too young. This sucks. You suck. They're like super rude. And I was like, wow, you guys are in your 50s and you're being this rude to like a student. So that's the key, right? And I could have given up at that point, but my tenacity, the importance of my message was so great that it's like, shit, if I have to be on a podcast at 11:15 p.m., like, let's just do it. Like, because it's so important for me to really share that message out there. So I think that's the key in terms of how to cope with it, in terms of understanding the cost of impact. I mean, in terms of how to cope with it, I would say it starts from coming from a place of understanding, which is people who, like, for example, this is a quote that somebody sent a podcast that was brilliant. Has Michael Jordan ever written a negative review on Amazon? Right? It sounds ridiculous.
I think I saw one for some golf clubs, but I think it might have been a troll. I'm just kidding.
Right, but notice how like ridiculous that sounds?
That is true.
Like would Kobe Bryant sit down when he was alive anyways and just write a negative review about something? Like no. Because winners don't care. They just focus on winning. And Kobe has a great quote too. He says, "Boos don't block dunks." It's just like, you can boo as much as you want. I'm still gonna dunk the fucking ball and win the game, and that's the mindset I wish most people had.